accent there. I heard you. I don't know what accent it was, but it was an accent for sure.
I was trying to do JFK from Clone High, the "Who wants to go swimming?" But I couldn't do it. The hello. That's more better. Like, right, try again. 3, 2, 1. Hello. Nope, can't do it.
You tried. You know, you did try.
Yeah,
but some things, you try to try sometimes, you know?
I try to try sometimes.
And that's okay.
I've been told I should do some voice acting. I think I should.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I got a little bit of a mixture.
Got a little umph.
In there. Yeah, a little
Little umph.
Yeah, I got a little inflection.
You could do it. I could do it with all my accents. All my accents, love.
Oh, your accents.
My accents.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty good.
I hope people watch the show and some people just tune in to be like, God, I just really want to hear them do accents.
I just want to hear them when they don't even know what accent they really have because they talk so much.
No, like literally.
And all weird voices.
Yeah.
I feel like we're not consistent enough, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of fun. Kind of vibe.
I've seen podcasts before where they try to talk like British the entire time, and I'm like, I can't. I can't do it.
Also, I feel like I would lose focus so much because I feel like if I'm doing a British accent, I'm already in chaos mode, and I can't keep that for an entire episode.
Yeah, podcasts are crazy because it's literally just like you want to be like there.
Yeah.
But then, like, when they start doing that, you're just like, no, this is too much.
That's too high energy for the entire episode. Yeah. I'm like,
And that's us talking. This is a high energy show.
We're a high energy.
This is crazy.
But
this
no.
is a crazy show.
And this is the Mystery Files, if you're wondering. I mean, you already clicked on it, so hey.
Hey, you know who we are.
And if you don't...
We've been around the block a couple times.
And if you don't, it's us. It's me. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Logan.
I didn't say my last name this time because I feel like I just get stressed because I don't know my last name.
I don't want people to dox us even though we're on all socials.
Yeah. Find us, I dare you.
Find us, I dare you.
But
Tiffany's
don't.
that 5'4".
Shut your filthy mouth. Shut your filthy mouth right here, right now.
Who's going to find a 5'4" in Pittsburgh? Be honest. Be real.
I live at 54. Just
you
54.
Live at 54.
Area,
the number 54.
Area 54. Actually, it's Area 54. I know what you're thinking. It's not the other area. Trust me. What is the other area? 51. That's the right place.
Well, there's Area 15, isn't there? It's like a Las Vegas thing. It's called like Area 15, and it's like a cool little like. They have like a store there. I've thought about covering on the Mystery Files before. It's like a creepy art store. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Area 15, I think it's called.
Okay. Is it supposed to be a play? Yeah, it's a play on it.
Yeah.
Would you ever go to Area 51 in real life?
We've been multiple times.
For a second, I thought you were being serious. And I was like, we literally didn't, though. It's like, why are you gaslighting me? Because you seemed... That was the time that I actually believed you're acting for a second. Because I feel like... No, not in a way like that. I mean when you lie. You're just a really bad liar. Not that I think you're a bad actor. You're just a really bad liar.
Call me Selena Gomez. I'm a bad liar.
I didn't say she's a bad actor. I was like, watch your mouth.
Do you want to tell the audience what I gaslighted you to do? And I told you before the episode. I was gonna talk about it on the episode, but I couldn't contain myself.
Wait, when did you gaslight me?
The newest Instagram reel.
Guys, okay, so sometimes we have a little thing where we like ask the person to be a collaborator and like accept the invite
on Instagram, on the Mystery Files _.
And so when you do that, we'll have the Mystery Files post shared to the Mystery Files Instagram and then one of our personal Instagrams. And I was like, sure, I'll accept the invite. Like, it's totally fine. It's just us messing around about Scooby-Doo. Whatever. This post, I accepted. It is the wackiest, ugliest picture of Scooby-Doo I've ever seen, and that's on my Instagram.
And for anyone for context, it's the monsters. Would you put a picture of it on the YouTube? Would you edit that?
I can.
It's a picture of Scooby-Doo when he's turned into that slug creature.
Oh, gross.
And he just has like all the eyes.
I'm like that. I literally just cleaned up my Instagram feed. Like, my Instagram, what's it called, page?
You didn't know until I told you.
No, I just didn't pay attention because I think I was at work when I accepted it. And I was like, sure, tee-hee. And then I shared it later on my personal story.
I'm, like, stressing you out during work. Like, yeah, I'm posting all the socials.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to share it immediately. And don't accept it too late. So, yeah, thank you for that.
Well, I thought you knew because you liked it and then you disappeared for, like, 45 minutes because I thought you were debating on, like, I don't want that on my Instagram. No. And then you accepted it and I was like, yes,
I was like, I literally have time to like this and that's all I have time for. But so just don't trust Logan with anything. It's what we've learned today. But yeah.
I think it was really funny. I had a great time.
Yeah, it was,
and now that's on our Mystery Files feed forever too.
It was
that
really
and the
fun.
evil Furby, the giant.
Yeah, the giant evil Furby. That's a good bit. But yeah. But yeah, so last week's episode was Logan. So that's what our fun reel was from on Instagram. From Logan's episode.
For the Appalachians.
Yeah.
Appalachians.
I feel like I don't know how to say that properly. And like the last episode, I was stressed every time. I'm like, is it Appalachia or Appalachian? Like, what's the vibe?
Yeah, but that was episode 15 of season 7. And this is episode 16.
The finale.
Season finale.
Bum, 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 bum.
Y'all.
It's gonna be good.
We are cooking up some good stuff for the summer tapes.
We're cooking it up.
Get
ready
so
to be
it's
just
be so fun.
You want fun, you want scary, we're both.
We're both.
You should be afraid. So
it's camp, it's
chaos,
horror, it's
mystery,
Barbie,
it's giving mystery,
it's zombie, it's haunted,
it's all of the above.
It's everything.
Yes, it's gonna be so good. So yes, this is our finale though, so it's gonna be crazy.
I know. And are you ready?
I am ready. I want to give a little disclaimer.
Okay.
That I was inspired a little bit by the theme last week. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh.
So I feel like you're gonna be like, this is kind of a similar vibe, but it's very different. So just know it's within the same wheelhouse. That's all I'm really gonna say. But I was like, I feel like I can get some goods out of that. So.
Okay. Can I know at least, is it like little mysteries or is it going to be like...
There's 2 main mysteries.
Cool. That's so fun.
That's all I'm going to say. And it's something I feel like we can revisit the idea of in different branches of this set idea.
Oh, let's go. I'm excited to hear.
Okay.
You ready? Should I drum roll?
Yes. Okay. This week on The Mystery Files, I am presenting the case of Horrors of the Hoya Bashu Forest and the Bennington Triangle.
The Hoya Forest?
So I know you're probably sitting there thinking, like, Tiffany, what do you mean we can revisit this? These are both haunted forests. So there are literally so many stories about haunted forests, and I was like, what do I want to call this episode? But I decided that was a good one because then we can revisit other haunted forests in the future.
Ooh, okay, that's cool.
These 2, I was like, I want to talk about these because I'm frightened. So I was like, woods vibes, yeah.
We've talked about it before in the show, but like I just immediately thought about The Hills Have Eyes.
I haven't seen it. Isn't that nuts?
It's literally a haunted woods movie.
See, I need to see it. I feel like people have always told me like how scary that movie is and how scary the Human Centipede is. And I haven't seen either of those. And people like always like they always shudder when they tell me about it, but I just haven't watched them. And I'm kind of afraid, honestly, at least for the Human Centipede. I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch that ever because I've been like warned.
I was an extra in the Human Centipede and it was terrible.
Stop it right now. But yeah, I don't want to watch that one for sure. But maybe The Hills Have Eyes. But
with the sound of music.
The hills have eyes and the sound of music.
Can you imagine Julie Andrews is like flying through the mountains like that, and then the mountains just get eyes, and they're like, hey.
That sounds like the
building.
The building. It sounds like the building's bit. Ew, that'd be nasty.
What if it can move?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
That'd be so good.
But yeah, do these hills have eyes? Find out in the rest of this mystery.
I'm ready to hear. Let's talk about the Hoya. The Hoya.
It's called the Hoya Bashu Forest. I hope I'm saying that right. I researched it like twice. So here we go. We're going to get into the intro though. Ooh. So we've all heard stories of haunted forests, and while some travelers make a note to steer clear, others find themselves intrigued. There is something compelling about the thrill of entering into the deep and haunted woods. It's an adventure that offers a chance to become an explorer, daring for an opportunity to brush up against the supernatural.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah. All over the world, there are places where rumors persist, and modern-day ghost hunters come armed to teeth with gadgets, motion detectors, electromagnetic field meters, air ion centers, looking for definitive proof of the paranormal in some of the world's most terrifying forests. So, while most spooky moments can be chalked up to our campfire imaginations running wild, some places around the world carry legitimately terrifying histories that are much harder to brush off with a nervous laugh. From woods with strange disappearances to unexplained paranormal phenomena, these 2 locations that I'm about to share aren't for the faint of heart.
Ooh, okay. You are ready.
I was ready. I was so excited when I started this. I was like, Logan's gonna love the chaos.
Oh my god.
So, first one. The Hoya Bashu Forest. That's where we're starting it. This one's nuts. Okay. So, in Romania, near the city of Cluj-Napoca, you can find the 617 acres Hoya Bashu Forest. Locals avoid the centuries-old forest, for it is known as Romania's Bermuda Triangle.
Oh.
Yeah, as it is said to be inhabited by the devil in person. by ghosts and perhaps even aliens.
What?
So some people who go into the woods never return. And then there's a mysterious void in the center of the forest. Bum, bum,
Whoa.
bum. So, like, it has the devil. It has aliens. It has little vortex things. Like, it's just already creepy.
Oh my god.
It's starting off. There's disappearances.
We've talked about them before, and I, like, don't know, like, if it's a part of it or not.
Yeah.
But, like, that gives me, like, fairy rings vibes with the vortex things,
Yeah,
because they are
yeah.
portals and, like, vortex. So, like, that kind of gives me that,
Like,
too,
it just
'cause they're
makes
usually found
sense.
there.
It makes sense. I'm like,
Ooh.
And, like, I don't want to go into the woods after this. After this episode, good
Yeah.
luck. Good luck, like, hiking.
Ooh, that
It's a
sounds
no.
scary. I mean, you see that a lot in horror movies, like people running into the forest and they like run somewhere and it's like the same place. Oh my god, that's kind of like American Horror Story 1984. Like when they're in the cabin, like they're in the woods. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
And they like she tries to run out and then she just teleports back to the middle of the
Yeah.
forest.
Ooh.
Oh, that's crazy.
No. Just don't trust the woods ever. As we
Oh.
learned last episode, just don't trust the woods.
Don't go in the woods.
Just
ever.
don't do it. So the ancient Hoya-Bashu Forest is named after a shepherd who disappeared in the woods along with his 200 sheep over a century ago. They were never seen again. But there are more recent disappearances
How many
as
sheep
well. 200 sheep.
This man lost 200 sheep in the forest.
Yeah, over a century ago, and they're still talking about it.
He lost 200 sheep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he disappeared and the 200 sheep, so it's not just... They were like, where'd the sheep go? No, this man
I
disappeared.
don't care about the person.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
like,
where's the
200 sheep?
Well, 200 sheep is a lot.
That's
a lot of
That's
sheep.
like a lot of sheep to casually just disappear, I guess, in the woods. I kind of get what you're saying.
Like, if you're like I don't know what they're called, like a sheep farmer or something, and you were like
A
friends.
herder?
A herder.
Is that what he what it's called? I
think
don't
it
know.
is.
The guys with the
I
sticks?
think it's
I don't
a
know.
herder.
A herder man.
Yeah, like.
That's probably not what it's called. Do
I
I
just
look
like imagine you're like the neighbor, and like you
Yeah.
go over, and there's just 200 sheep missing. I'm just.
Can you imagine the neighbor in the middle of the night is like, James hasn't gotten back from the woods and his 200 sheep are still missing. Like,
Did they follow him?
like, how do they know? I mean,
Why was he taking
also,
them?
his name wasn't James. I just made that up. So if you're trying to fact check me, it's not James. But I
No,
don't
it
know.
was Shaun the Sheep.
Shaun the Sheep is actually based on this story.
Oh my god. They did a Shaun the Sheep alien movie.
Things aren't making sense. Yeah, nuts.
That's it.
But they disappeared in the woods.
Sorry,
over
I had to think about that for
yeah,
a second. That's
never
crazy.
seen again. But there are more recent disappearances as well. So if you're like, I don't really care about this guy a century ago with his 200 sheep,
Yeah.
someone disappeared recently. So things just as clothes and bones were never found of this guy, they just simply vanished into thin air. People think that these strange happenings have something to do with the large amount of UFO sightings that have been reported here. So most of
Yup.
these UFO sightings occurred in the late 70s because everything happened in the 70s, obviously.
Yeah.
All the murderers, all the aliens, all that jazz.
Murderers, conspiracies, aliens, vampires, werewolves.
I don't know about that. The vampires are really the 70s. Imagine.
Probably.
They're discoing.
Hippie vampires.
Hippie vampires.
Uh,
They suck, man. But in fact, some of these sightings were caught on tape. So if you're like, I don't know how much I believe in that, some were
What?
caught on tape. So the next little section is called Fear the Forest, where we get more into this idea. So people who live near the forest refuse to set foot in it. Many claim to see strange light anomalies on the edge of the forest. They see like the kind of like the ghost light vibe that you were talking about last time.
yeah, the Brown Mountain Lights.
Yeah, that's the ghost
Ooh.
lights. But according to the legend, there are the spirits of murdered farmers who lost their lives long ago. So people think these are the spirits of the people who passed away. And then
Oh.
people who are brave enough to enter this forest feel restless and agitated.
Yeah.
They strongly feel like they're being watched and they lose track of time. So like, as we know with most UFO things, people lose track of time and like,
Yeah.
so it makes sense
But
that
also,
like, this is why.
we've decided as a whole on this podcast that like ghosts also don't understand time either. So
Yeah,
like, that's like
so
another
it's like, if they
thing.
are they directly affecting you?
Yeah.
The supernatural is making you lose track of time. Like, there's so many
Yeah.
options.
I talked about it last episode, but with the whole like Gettysburg thing when we were talking about the Brown Mountain Lights, that makes like perfect sense because when you're in Gettysburg, like you can see like spots and like orbs in the field sometimes if you go at night, and like that's just I'm imagining it's kind of like that because it's supposed to be like fallen soldiers like
yeah.
energy and stuff. So that's just like
That's so scary.
that's crazy.
I like both want to go to Gettysburg and I'm very afraid.
Gettysburg
like,
is
have
so
fun.
fun if you go during the day.
Okay, so I want to go during the night then.
Yeah, we'll go.
So if you want to see something, go to the night.
Yeah.
Hurt. So they strongly feel like they're being watched, losing track of time, but people who visit the strange forest appear to have migraine attacks. I get migraine.
You must live close to that forest.
Am I
then.
just haunted? Is that why I get such bad migraines? Things are making sense.
You should write a book like that or a movie where it's like you have migraines and it's actually like possession. It's actually
it's actually a sensitivity to the paranormal. That might make sense.
That would be cool.
I feel like it's like, what if it's like a medium thing? Like it's that makes so much sense.
And then you can get rich and then get the proper like care to get them done.
It's just so nuts that like I have to be possessed to want healthcare.
Yeah. If you want good healthcare,
just be possessed.
Fall into capitalism and be possessed.
Or be possessed. Yeah.
Both. Same thing. Tomato.
Tomato in this economy. I love it. But yeah, people get these migraine attacks, they feel nauseous, get a rash all over their bodies, burns, scratches, and other strange phenomena. So like, obviously, burns, scratches.
Yeah, I'll get out of the shower really hot and then I'll like burn myself.
Oh yeah, I'll be like red.
Yeah, and I'll like have like scratches on my body that I don't know where they came from.
See, that's the one I don't understand.
Maybe it's because I have 5 cats, but maybe someone just like slashed me.
Or maybe it's a demon.
What if we're both possessed?
What if we're literally both possessed? But yeah, that's my literal fear. And the idea that like they're getting scratched by something, that's demonic behavior, especially if it's like a 3 scratch.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
I know that there's limited places for people to live, but why would you want to live close to a forest like that has like possession and like tracks of
that's like the same idea of who buys a house next to a cemetery.
Hello.
I'm sorry, but like that's literally inviting something.
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
Knocking on the door.
No, that's not. You said Satan?
That's a party.
Do you want to be bestie? No.
Exactly.
And I'm taking that back because I feel like that sounded like an invitation. And I love God.
So, do you see that portal to hell opening up on the floor right there?
Literally, oh my God. Shut your mouth.
That's crazy. Hey, buddy, get
Hey, God, I love you. Please remember that when I'm doing these episodes because I don't want possession. I don't want it. So, many eyewitnesses claim to have seen ghosts and faces appear in pictures that couldn't be seen by the naked eye. Electronic devices refuse to work, and they hear voices, which you don't want to be hearing any voices in the middle of the woods. Absolutely not. People claim to remember all kinds of things from the past in the forest, but completely forget about them when they walk out of it. So, like, they'll have these weird memories and then just forget they happened. Which, not to be a skeptic here... Because you know me, I'm a believer in all. Yeah. But the idea that they're like, oh, they remember these things of the past, but they forget them. How do they remember they even forgot anything? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do they remembered a memory? Does that make sense to you? I mean,
yeah. It could be possibly, like, I don't know. But it could be, like, maybe a PTSD-like thing where it's like...
Okay, they know something happened.
They, like, push it down.
Okay.
And they're just like, no, this didn't happen. And then just over time, they're remembering things. And they're like, oh my God, I did, pretend to forget. So I would be okay with myself.
Okay.
And you might, I don't know the full psychological of that, but like if you saw, I don't know, aliens chasing after you, you are probed. That's the other thing. What if aliens were
that was the next thing I was going to say. Like if someone was taken by aliens, the idea that they would take all these memories away so you wouldn't know that they probed you. Exactly. And then you know like something happened, but you don't know what it was. And I feel like that's even scarier.
No, exactly. Like that's very possible.
Also watch the X-Files. I'm telling you, for
the
bajillionth time. I was watching a couple of episodes the other day. I'm like, Logan better just watch the show because I'm going to lose it.
Is it on Hulu?
Yeah. It's on Hulu.
Is it on anywhere else that doesn't have ads?
I'll get back to you on that. I feel like I saw it somewhere else, but I don't know. I'll get back to you on that. But watch it, please. Please, of all good things in the world, watch X-Files. But, okay, now we're going to get on to the vegetation in the woods because there's some tea with that strange vegetation.
Walking carrots.
Walking carrots.
Am I close?
No, but that's really cute. I don't even know. Darn. So the trees in this forest have weird forms and shapes, not like carrots, unfortunately. Darn. But they also give like a creepy vibe to the place. So when the wind blows through the strangely shaped branches, like skin crawling sounds are heard, and it seems as if the forest is talking to you. So it's almost like a whisper in the woods, like
a wispy woods.
A whisper woods. So there's also the strange dancing lights that are seen too often, as we've already talked about. The perfectly round, clear spot right in the middle of the forest is a mystery as well. So there's like a whole clearing in the woods. It's like just nothing in the middle of the woods. When you're like, okay, that's kind of weird.
It's just like completely barren?
Yeah, there's like a clear spot right in the middle of the forest, which is, I don't want to know.
Ew.
I don't want to know why that's there.
Not to be like, oh, that's in this too, but that's in The Hills Have Eyes.
Ew.
Like, there's like a moment, spoiler, but it's also like an old movie, like where they run out of the like trees and they find like a spot at the top of the mountain that's just nothing's there and it's like vacant, and then he's just like looking around freaking out. It's weird. It's so weird.
That's so scary. Ugh. And I'm gonna tell a small story, but if I've said this on the podcast, it might be but I probably told you before that when I was younger, we convinced my little brother that this cornfield was Children of the Corn because they had a clearing in it.
Yeah.
And I was telling Michael, I was like, oh yeah, this is where they sacrifice the children. So I told him that when he was younger and freaked him out real bad. So it's just like this clearing. Siblings and the love. But yes, a beautiful clearing in the middle of the woods is just like that. So scientists actually did a soil investigation there, but nothing indicated the cause of the absence of vegetation. So they're like, why is nothing growing here? Like, nothing is indicating why nothing is growing here.
Why can't carrots grow there?
Like, why can't carrots? Why can't that grass grow? Why is there no trees? Like, strange. So the soil is, like, perfectly fine. The whole forest is of great attraction to scientists from all over the world because of this. And psychic mediums claim the void is a portal to the paranormal. So they're thinking that little clearing is actually a portal. So you're joking about the portal inside my house that we just opened? There's an actual portal here, they think. So
it's the other world of hell. There.
Stop it. That's so funny.
Everything comes back. Everything is connected.
I love that sound. So good. That's comedy right there. So human forms are seen at this spot. So shadow figures have been seen, but many people are positive that the round void is caused by the UFO. That's the landing for the UFO. They think like that's why it's like a perfectly clear round spot.
And whatever like gas that could release could have like destroyed the soil or like the nature of it.
You're so right.
Like it could have like been toxins in the ground.
And it's like maybe something scientists can't detect because it's too
we don't have it. We don't have it.
Nuts. I'm believing it already. I'm believing it.
I'm going into science.
I'm going into science. Just science.
Yeah.
Nothing specific.
I'm gonna pick up this cup like a beaker. And like,
you said that's science.
That's science.
That's the meniscus. Do you know what a meniscus is?
No.
You don't remember that from science? When you look at the top of your cup, the little, like, it looks like there's a little curve at the top. That's the meniscus. Like, if you look at it on, like, in level with it, if you, like, you don't have to drop your head on this podcast.
Oh my god.
But, like, you can see a tiny little, like, curve at the top.
Oh, I kind of see it.
And that's the meniscus. Science.
Oh, I love the hibiscus.
The hibiscus meniscus.
Please welcome to the stage, hibiscus meniscus.
Yes, she's science. She's
science. She is a fake curve in the cup.
Yeah. That's a meniscus. Anywho, Lost in the Forest is the next little section of this one. So years ago, this is actually sad. I came in that too a little too excited. I was like, I'm about to say some child went missing, and I'm singing, so I should not say that. So let's just...
Girl, that's the plot of Annie.
Yeah. She went missing? No, she did not, Annie.
She was an orphan. She's like...
That's not missing, that's orphaned.
It's kind of...
She's missing...
Why did she go missing?
She's missing parents.
She kind of goes somewhere. She kind of runs off, and they're like, Annie!
Annie, no, don't go.
Annie, don't go. Annie, grab your gun!
I have to leave. This podcast is canceled. Immediately canceled. So how are we gonna move on from that is my question. Because I was like, man, I should be really serious before this part. And we just did all that. So I want to take a breather. Imagine serious things. Okay. Years ago. I'm gonna stop sounding excited. I'm a little too excited. I'm sorry. Don't be excited about this part.
Sound like one of the like creepypasta narrators.
I can do that. Years ago, a little 5-year-old girl got lost in the forest. A big search was organized, but unfortunately, she was nowhere to be found. People lost hope in finding her. But 5 years after she disappeared, she showed up again.
No way.
Alive and well, and she was still wearing the same clothes she wore on the day of her disappearance.
No. Mm-hmm. Was she like? Did she grow? She grew up. Like, did she look different?
From what I know, it didn't say.
Because 5 years old to 10 years, that's a big difference in height and
But it's
weight
also like she was wearing the same clothes, so like, depending on how she grew into them, it's just like where the heck did she go? 5 years and she's wearing the same clothes.
So she walked into the forest. Gone for 5 years and then comes back.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And she showed up again alive and well in the same exact clothes she was wearing the day she disappeared. I'm like, that is horrifying.
That reminds me of, we've talked about it on the show before, but the Urban Legend show, how they did the one about the girl who, like, what was it? The girl they thought, like, committed like suicide. And do you remember this? She, like, everyone was like so upset about it, and they were like freaking out because it was her. Like, they identified her as her. They had a funeral and everything. And then 3 months later, she showed up washed up at her prom, like soaked in water.
I'm like, then who was that?
Like,
Who
she
was
was
that?
alive, and it happened.
Yeah.
It was real.
Yeah.
Like, it's a real thing that's
Oh my
insane.
gosh, that's giving like Will Byers from Stranger Things.
Yeah,
vibe.
very that.
Season 1. Yeah,
That's what this is giving me too.
Yeah.
Like, that's
But
insane.
the fact that she literally, but
What?
this is a little different because she was missing and like she just wasn't found that entire time.
Yeah.
But like to come back and be fine 5 years later as a child is like, well, where were you? What happened to you?
I wouldn't even know how to process that because like
Yeah.
you've like fully done the mourning process and like moved on.
Yeah,
And it's just,
5
like,
years.
What do you do?
Like what? And it's weird because she was 5-year-old kid. She literally doubled her age,
yeah.
and it's just back.
I'm just imagining, I don't know what she was like wearing, but if she had like
Mm-hmm.
a shirt and shorts on or something, like they would have to be like a crop top on her,
Yeah,
like something
or like
tight
ripped,
or like ripped.
What?
Yeah,
that's creepy.
That's so weird.
Yeah, but I guess she couldn't recall anything about the last 5 years, and it's like,
me,
so where did she
with
go?
Anna Kendrick and Jeremy Jordan.
The last 5 years. Yes, that's so good. But yeah, where did she go? How was she able to keep herself alive? Are all these questions? And apparently the Romanian winters are like very brutal. So it's also like, how did she survive 5 winters in
Oh
the
my
woods?
god.
And all kinds of wild stories were brought up to people. And some claim the forest is a portal to the parallel universe and that you can time travel.
Girl, the upside down.
The upside down. People are like, wow, she must have like entered some portal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's a nutty theory. But like, what happened? And like, that's kind of like,
It could have been aliens too. We don't know.
yeah. But like, that's kind of the end of her story. I'm like, well, can someone tell
That's
me more?
it? Tell me more.
Where's it at? Was she good now? Was she traumatized? She's probably traumatized. Is she in like
I mean,
regression therapy or repression therapy?
I
What's
don't
it called?
know. Yeah, I think it's like regression. Therapy.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, what?
But like, it's possible that like she just might be fine. Like she might like just.
She doesn't remember anything.
She
She's
doesn't
like-
remember it. So like, I mean, there's probably the horror of just like everyone's moved on, life is different now. But
yeah,
it's like.
but it's also like I'd be horrified if I
What?
just couldn't remember 5 years of my life. Like, imagine the last 5 years didn't happen. We wouldn't even know each other. So much stuff happens in 5 years.
That's crazy.
We might have known it. Well,
We
how
would
many
known
years?
each
6.
other, but like we
We
wouldn't
wouldn't
have been
have
good
this.
friends yet.
This show wouldn't have existed, or it did, and this show existed, but none of you knew about it.
No one knows about it now.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, well, people know about another Mr. Files. See, but yeah, nutty. I want to know
That's
more.
crazy.
That needs a documentary. Why is that not talked about?
That feels like a Degrassi plotline.
Yeah, I mean, it literally does.
That
Chaos.
literally- Like they're like, Deborah, you're back.
Zebra, you're back from the dead. I literally thought you were murdered.
Did you say zebra?
Zebra.
I thought you said zebra, like a zebra, like zebra.
Zebra. No, it's actually a more fun name for
My
a
name is
zebra.
Zebra.
No, she's Zebra.
I love being a zebra.
Stop, that's a drag queen name.
I got black and white stripes.
Zebra.
I love being a zebra.
I just love this life of mine. But yeah, so that's her nutty story. And apparently this is all the stuff about the Hoya Bashu Forest today. So if you're like, what's going on in there today? So people cannot be forbidden to enter the woods, obviously, but even locals like tend to avoid the place. They don't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And people interested in the paranormal from all over the world want to visit this forest. And also people love coming to the place some people come there to do yoga and meditate. I'm like, you're
Girl.
comfortable there?
You want to be possessed.
This is the vibe you want for yourself? Okay.
No, ma'am.
But yeah, one thing's for sure is this forest proves that Romania is like a paranormal mystery. Like the entire place, first off.
Wow.
There's a lot of stuff in Romania. We'll get into it in another episode, but like, this forest? Would you go? I wouldn't go.
No, I wouldn't go.
I'm
I would
just
like.
too scared.
I'd like to see the town next
Oh,
to
yeah,
it. I
yeah.
would love to like see like what's the like big deal. How like
Mm-hmm.
you go to West Virginia where the Mothman's at, but you're not trying to like
Find
walk
Mothman.
into the mines
The mines, yeah.
the mines
The mines.
and find Mothman.
Yeah.
That's
you
crazy.
just want to go take a picture with the statue, and you're like, I did
Yeah,
it.
I'm like cool. And
okay,
I'm done.
bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Mothman. But yeah.
That's crazy.
That's
I loved
nuts.
that one.
So that was the first one. So
That's so cool.
I was like, I need to do a forest one after seeing that, and I was like, that can't be its own case. That's literally only like 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
But like,
literally almost
literally,
on the dot.
yeah,
That's so
30,
funny.
57. But yeah, nuts. So that was the first little forest guy. And this next one, which I think it's also funny, this is called the Bennington Triangle, when there literally were theories about this being like the last one being the Romanian Bermuda Triangle vibe.
Yeah.
So this next one is called the Bennington Triangle.
I was gonna say before you get into it, whenever
Yeah.
you said the forest names, for some reason my immediate thought went when you said like this has to do with stuff we've talked about before. My
Yeah.
immediate thought went, is this gonna be a Bermuda Triangle thing? So it's
Yeah.
weird that I had the intuition that like
Well, because it was a hint to the stuff we talked about last week in terms of like woodsy vibes and disappearances, Bermuda Triangle vibes. This is like all that in one. So the Bennington
Okay.
Triangle is the next one here. So southwestern Vermont is known for its bucolic setting, but one 93 square kilometer area of thick woods was also the scene for one of America's great enduring mysteries. Between 1945 to 1950, a string of unsolved disappearances occurred in what became known as the Bennington Triangle. It shook the surrounding communities and had puzzled people ever since this day. Like, even to this day, This is, like, puzzled people. They don't know what the deal is here. So, since he was a child, the unknown person, you'll get to know him soon, had fascinated New England author Joseph A. Citro. The Bard at the Bazaar began by writing horror stories. Then, like Charles Fort before him, he doggedly collected regional folklore, paranormal stories, and generally strange occurrences. So this guy's, like, creating a collection of stories about this place. To Citro, this part of Vermont's Green Mountains was a hotspot for unaccountable disappearances and sightings of supernatural creatures, and he ended up calling the area the Bennington Triangle. So that's this guy. He basically is stamping this name of approval, Bennington Triangle.
His name's Bennington?
No. I don't know why.
Okay.
I think that's the place.
His long-lost lover's name's Bennington.
His long-lost lover. It's just the place, love. But yeah.
Paddington? Paddington Forest? Oh.
Bennington?
Paddington?
Bennington? What a guy.
Cool if it was Paddington.
Get a grip.
I love Paddington.
Starts crying in Paddington. Bennington had bad luck since the 1800s. Its local economy, mainly mining and logging, collapsed. Tourism failed, and a huge flood devastated the community at the close. You're like, Johnstown flood.
I was literally about to say, Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Johnstown flood. I'm stressed. But yeah, there was a huge flood that devastated the community at the close of the 19th century, and the bad luck only followed into the 20th century. So, like, as we have talked about over and over again, you literally brought it up just slightly earlier, that when there is trauma in a place, that's a hot spot for just more things to go wrong. And
they're like, let's get to cooking.
They said, let's have some demons up in here. Let's stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah, not to invite him back, but the devil goes crazy there. He sees that and he goes, oh, y'all, spring break.
He's eating it up.
Spring break.
Yeah, spring break. Let's go, besties. But yeah, these people right here, they're not having a spring break because 6 people disappeared.
Oh.
I'm like, wow, 6 people, huh?
Do they come back 5 years later?
I don't think these people come back. From 1945 to 1950, 6 people disappeared. So, in a 5-year span, 6 people disappearing in a town.
5-year span?
Wait, is that not 5 years? 1945, 1950.
No,
I was like, I'm bad at math, but like, that bad? Yeah, 5. But yeah, that is nuts because she had a 5-year span.
Yeah.
You're
they were hanging
something.
out.
They said, but the 1945, that's not recent. But like, time travel, I guess.
Doesn't exist.
I guess she went, oop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's making sense now. So from 1945 to 1950, 6 people disappeared, one after the other. The first was Carl Herrick in November 1943. Hold up. That math ain't mathin'. This said from 1945 to 1950, and this guy disappeared in 1943. Someone out there was goofing, so that wasn't my math, just so you know. But this incident...
I would be surprised if it was.
Don't be surprised, but like, it wasn't me. Don't blame me. So this incident is often overlooked in discussions about the Bennington disappearances. Okay, so this one's not included in the 6. I was about to say, hold up, that's not right. It's overlooked in discussions about the Bennington disappearances because of a body was found and a definitive cause of death was given. So, like, this person was found after the fact.
Oh, okay.
So they're saying this strange thing happened to this person.
This is an outlier.
But, like, it wasn't part of this 6. But it is strange that this happened to this guy. So, this guy, Carl, the one that disappeared and they found him, was hunting with his cousin Henry 16 kilometers northeast of Glastonbury Mountain, which lies at the center of the triangle. Ooh. The pair got separated, and Henry contacted authorities to look for him. So after a few days, searchers found Herrick's body. His gun was nearby with no bullets discharged. The autopsy determined that the cause of death was squeezing.
What?
I know.
What does that mean? Squeezing.
Squeezing. It said his ribs had been punctured. The ribs punctured his lung. And the townsfolk did not show any particular concern afterward. They were like, yeah, this guy just died from being squeezed to death. But what does that mean?
Who squeezed him?
What does that even mean?
What?
Yeah. And the townsfolk were like, I guess he got squeezed to death.
Like a ketchup bottle on a burger.
What?
Squeezed. He got squeezed.
He got squeezed. So I'm like, whatever the heck that means. And the townsfolk were just like, I mean, whatever.
Right.
I guess it happens, I guess.
Bro, that's a ton of Stranger Things.
Yeah, they said...
Portals to hell open up and they're like,
they go, we don't see a thing. We just don't see it.
And...
Yeah.
The people who did the autopsy were confused?
Yeah. But also, it's even stranger that his gun literally didn't have bullets. Like, no bullets were shot from his gun that was loaded. So it's like, if there were something... Like, if there was something nearby to you to protect you from something that would squeeze you to death, would you not use it? Because it literally said his gun was near him.
Yeah.
And he just didn't shoot whatever was... Like, if it was a bear or something that, like, mauled you and squeezed you to death. If
yeah,
your gun
but then he
was
would have
beside
maul
you...
marks on him.
Yeah.
Like,
and
this
also,
means that someone... What?
Like, he would have grabbed the gun beside him and shot whatever was trying to get him. Like, it was literally beside him. So I'm like,
That's wild.
what squeezed him to death?
Unless it was, like, an evil tree or something.
An evil tree. I mean...
Like, Evil Dead style,
yeah.
like... A tree grabs him and he can't grab his gun. But
I'm just like, what would cause that? It just, the math
sense.
isn't mathing. So.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So it's just strange.
What?
It's like, I don't understand what would cause that.
I was thinking about, like, air quality, but wouldn't they tell in his lungs that it was, like, an air quality problem? Like, if it was too thin?
The thing is, I don't know if it could be air quality just because his ribs broke and punctured his lung.
Yeah, it would
so
have
that's
to be
why.
physical.
Because it would be different if, like, his lung was just punctured. You could be like, oh, maybe something happened, I don't know.
What?
But, like, his rib punctured it because it was broken into his lung.
I gotta say, like, truly, this is the most insane, like missing
what?
person thing we've talked about. For me, like, I don't know. That's
It's like,
that's insane.
I'm just concerned. Why did no one care? I know it was 1943 or whatever the heck, but why did no one care? They're like, I mean...
Yeah, they just kind of accepted it.
Yeah.
They weren't accepting anything back then.
Never
They were accepting witchcraft,
yeah.
evil dimension, time portaling, MK Ultra.
Oh my,
they were just letting anything.
Don't trust people. People are psychotic. But yeah, 1943.
Crazy.
But I guess 10 years later, then, an experienced hiker and hunter named Mitty Rivers, Mitty, that's a silly name, Mitty Rivers went missing on November 12th, 1945. This is the first disappearance. The 74-year-old was guiding a group of 4 hunters on a mountain trek. He was very familiar with the trail as he had walked it multiple times. However, after going ahead of the group at a spot called Hecky Wecky Hollowbrook.
What is it called?
Hecky Wecky Hollowbrook.
Hell Hollowbrook.
Thank you. Near the Long Trail and Vermont Route 9. So, he was gone. He was just gone. So when he went to go take this group to this place. So, he disappeared. For whatever reason. And it just said he was gone. I'm like, okay, so he just, like, led them to this spot and disappeared, essentially.
Glad we're covering all our bases.
Yeah. Yeah, so after going ahead of the group, he literally went there and disappeared.
Dang.
So then, after the fact, firemen, local volunteers, and eventually the U.S. Army searched for Rivers for over a month to hopefully find this guy in the area, because they were like, we don't know where he went. But I guess the only clue that they found was one rifle cartridge. So no body was found, and the case, like, still remains unsolved to this day, because they're like, there was no body in any of these rivers. We searched them. Wasn't in the woods.
Okay.
But the fact that they literally got the U.S. Army involved, that's, like, a whole other level.
Well, I just, like, we talked about it before, like, this is literally back, like, in the very beginning of the Mystery Files, the whole case with that one kid that was missing in the forest. Like, that's way too many people to have searching for this man. Because it's, like, covering up evidence and everything. Just, like, have one specific team that looks for him and keep track. If, like, you get...
I don't know. It's both, like, I understand to an extent, like, you would want everyone out there covering your bases, but it is a thing that it could also be covering up clues into what happened.
No, like,
and the fact that they have, like, the firemen, the local volunteers is the main thing. I'm like, I feel like the first whatever amount of time should be the firemen and whoever else, but not local people just casually.
Yeah.
Because then it's also like, what evidence could have been covered up if something else was involved? Like, I don't know. But it's also like, where'd they take the body if they took it? I don't know.
That show that I like a lot with Danielle, that what is it called? That One of Us is Lying. Mm-hmm. There's an episode where they're, like, looking for a missing person, and the people who, like, made them go missing are with them and are, like, picking up evidence to hide it.
Okay.
Like, and I don't know if that's what's happening here, but it's just like, you can't just objectively just trust everyone to just do this.
Let's trust the local townsfolk in our Vermont town.
Like, I don't know what happened. It might be, like, supernatural.
Yeah.
But it's just like, y'all.
But it's like, you could have maybe found... I mean, and it's also, like, I don't know what the span of time was that they let the local volunteers... Like, maybe that was, like, their last-ditch effort in addition to all of this stuff.
Right.
So it's just, like... like, where did he go is the main thing. And, like, why was he not found after all this time?
Large groups of people, when they look for someone, they go missing. Like 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty sure it's, like, gone. Yeah. Like, I have not heard us cover a single... missing person case where that hasn't happened. Yeah. When they get a giant group of people to do it.
It's just not working. But yeah, the only thing they found was a rifle cartridge. But it's like, that if you think about it, in the woods, I feel like that could honestly be anyone's at that point. But, like,
Yeah.
maybe they were able to track down
Yeah.
the rifle he had, and, like, that was the same exact cartridge that he would have used for said gun.
I'm
I
also
don't know.
assuming that, like, they weren't, like, used bullets. Like, he just had them on him and
Yeah.
they fell or something.
Well, it says, I don't know what a... This is me not knowing guns.
We don't.
So,
do we look like we know guns?
Does it look
Does
like
it
we
sound
know
like we know guns?
Come on now.
Come on.
We're jokesters over here.
Come on.
But it says one rifle cartridge, which I can only assume a cartridge would be when you shoot. There's the empty cartridge would
Oh.
fall out of your gun. From what my limited understanding of guns.
Let me Google it.
Yeah, see what a cartridge is. I
I
feel like
better
it's
not get any gun ads after this.
Stop it. I feel like it's the outer layer of the bullet. Like the
Rifle
bullet is inside of a
cartridge.
cartridge. Tell me in the comments.
Oh!
Is it?
No,
no?
it's a bullet.
No, are you sure it's just the bullet? I
Rifle
feel like
cartridge. It's just a bullet.
That's the outer thing, Logan.
What do you mean? It literally says a rifle cartridge, and it's the bullet.
That's not a bullet.
Yes, it is. The top part is a bullet, Tiffany.
Look up our cartridges and
Look,
bullets.
it literally cartridge, firearms.
That bullet is inside a cartridge. Wait,
That's just objectively not true. That is a bullet.
Are bullets and
Tiffany,
literally
that
my
is a
thing.
bullet.
Look at my search that came up. It literally
Tiffany.
says my suggested search are bullets and cartridges the same thing.
Great.
Okay,
There are
let's
people
see.
everywhere looking
Okay.
this up.
Give a second. Single piece of ammunition for rifle or handgun is called a cartridge. No.
It's a cartridge.
Okay, so
Wait,
I'm
okay.
confused. The
A
word cartridge-
cartridge is usually a metallic case that packages the bullets.
that's right.
Okay.
That's right. It packages
Propellant
the
and
bullet.
primer. Oh, there's a bug on your table.
Ah. I
It's dead
screamed.
now.
I just screamed into the thing.
A cartridge that is completely inert contains no primer and no propellant, whatever that means.
So no bullet. Nothing inside there. It's an empty cartridge. Yeah, look at me knowing guns.
That makes no sense. But why did when I look up cartridge, it just showed me bullets?
It shows the out. That's not a bullet.
Way to go, Google.
I don't think you know what a bullet looks
You
like.
suck. Why would I know what a bullet
It's
looks
giving yeehaw.
like? Do I look like I know what a bullet looks like?
Do I look like I know? I knew what a cartridge was, so that's that yeehaw in me.
The
from
only thing...
my mere childhood.
The
in
only thing I'm
sticks.
shooting is fierce looks,
Ooh,
okay?
ooh, ooh. We have like camera sounds in the background.
I just like that I'm slowly getting gayer and gayer every
I'm
episode.
so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm finally
Pride
being who
Month.
I am. Happy
Yeah.
Pride Month. Wow.
I'm coming.
Anyway, okay, so I guess it's
So-
just the packaging, so we didn't
Yeah.
use them.
No, there wasn't one. Well, I didn't say if it was a full cartridge, but I assume if it's on the ground, it's an empty one because he would have shot and the cartridge would have fallen out.
Or maybe he just had it in his pocket.
He just
and
dropped the
was
bullet
running,
with the cartridge.
and
I don't
just
know. It
ran
doesn't
away.
say. But yeah, that's all that we got in this guy. He's gone. He's unsolved. It's unsolved. So that's the first guy.
unsolved.
But next story is the vanishing hiker. So a year later, in 1946, an 18-year-old student at Bennington College named Paula Jean Weldon. I almost thought it was Paula Dean. Paula Jean with a J. Paula Jean Weldon told her roommates that she was going to the Long Trail for a hike. A local man named Lewis Knapp gave her a ride and dropped her off a few kilometers from the trail. On arriving, she spoke with some hikers before she ventured off on her own. She was last seen on December 1st, wearing a red coat. So then, a 4-week search led by her father and the police began, and however, all leads became dead ends. She went missing, obviously, and the search by her father began. And this is the whole situation, too. A search led by her
How many
father.
times do we have to tell you, old man?
How many times do we have to tell you, old man? But yeah, 4-week search led by her father. I'm like, the police should have been the main... And it says the father and the police. So...
But that just means most of the father.
That
probably.
means the father was, like, trying to root for her to find
Dang.
the answers.
I mean, I get wanting to find her. She just disappeared. Is that all there is to this?
There's a little bit more.
Okay.
So, with no hope in sight, Paula's father believed that she might have had a secret boyfriend, whom either she ran away with or who killed her. So, Paula's father left Bennington, never to return, and then her case was left unsolved as well. But it is interesting that it said, like, this guy, like the local man named Lewis Knapp gave her a ride and dropped her off a few kilometers from the... That's what it said. Like, he dropped her off a few kilometers from the trail, but... It even said, well, the thing is, she was definitely dropped off alive because hikers saw her before she went off on her own. But, like...
So she was by herself.
She was by herself. But that doesn't mean that he could have eventually went into the woods to find her and then maybe kill her. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we just
Unless
don't
it was,
know.
like, I'm praying to God it's the first one.
Yeah.
Like, they ran away together, because that's drama. That's days
That's
of
the
our
drama.
lives.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it could be one of those things where, like, when couples, like, try to disappear, like, separate, they make it look like they were in
was an
different
accident.
places.
Yeah.
At different times.
To separate the association with one another.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like either way, I feel like this Lewis Knapp had to be involved. I mean, I don't know. It just seems a little shady
crazy.
that some like random local man decided like he was gonna help her and give her a ride there and drop her off.
What?
I don't know. But yeah, remains unsolved to this day for that little girl. So, the strangest of all, I guess there's more. The strangest of all. The tale gets stranger. So exactly 3 years after Paula's disappearance, a 68-year-old World War II veteran named James Tedford disappeared on a moving bus. He was visiting friends out of town and was heading back to Bennington by bus. 14 passengers confirmed he did not get off the bus before Bennington and was sleeping throughout the trip. His belongings were still on his seat, and to this day, there is no explanation for he had disappeared. So unless all the witnesses are lying and, like, said, like, oh, he just, like, got off the bus and they didn't realize. But, like, they said he didn't get off the bus. He was on there the entire time, but somehow he just, like, vanished.
That's crazy.
It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Ew, that could be, like, one of those Stranger Things, like, he's just on there and then just the second, like he's
something
gone.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, where did he go,
that's
though?
like, what's it called? When Jesus comes back and says, hey, you can go to heaven, but you
the
can't.
rapture. The rapture. The rapture stresses me out. Rapture. Rapture. Yeah, so I don't know. This guy just got raptured early. They said, let's just try it once and see how it goes.
He had the pre-sale tickets to heaven.
He had the pre-sale tickets to rapture. But it is weird that, like, his stuff was still on the seat, though. And, like...
That's weird.
Because even if, like, say he did get off, and, like, they just didn't see him. It is weird that all of his belongings were still on the seat.
But a bus, like, has to, like, full stop.
Yeah. Like, it doesn't make any... But, like, the fact that 14 passengers were like, this guy was sleeping throughout the entire trip, and he didn't get off the bus ever. Like, it'd be different if it was, like, 2 people, like, oh, I don't know. I just... Maybe I don't think he got off the bus. But 14 people being like, no. Like, he definitely didn't get off the bus.
Even when I'm on the bus and I have, like, my headphones blasting, I'm not paying attention to anything. I can still feel the bus stop and move somebody. Mm-hmm. Like...
It's just strange. It's very strange.
What if he didn't exist to begin with? What if he was a ghost from the beginning?
That's a good theory. You're onto something. But there's a little bit more.
He was going back home. There's more.
To the rapture.
To the rapture.
To God's arms. On October 12th...
Or the devil's. Nope, sorry.
Satan. On October 12th, 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson was with his mother. So this is the next little part of this. 8-year-old Paul Jepson was with his mother while she worked on their family farm. She left her son in her pickup while she fed the farm's pigs for an hour. When she returned for an hour, she probably had a lot of farm pigs.
Girl, bring your son.
Bring your son in the car. So when she returned, he was gone, and he was last seen wearing a red coat. And if we remember, there was also someone else. Remember at the beginning when I was talking about one other person that got seen with the red coat?
Yeah, with the red coat.
Mm-hmm.
What?
But I'm like, is that something significant? Because, like, if only a few people disappeared and 2 people have a red coat, that's a little suspicious to me.
That's weird. Like, if it is a coincidence, it's a really weird coincidence.
That's just very specific. Because, like, I feel like people have a red coat, like, there's a certain type of person.
I don't see too many people with a red coat walking around.
But
you do?
I'm a little
you're weird.
I'm a little colorful girl. I have to wear red, obviously.
Well, don't go in the woods.
Yeah, don't go in the woods with the red coat. You heard it here first. All my one script called Red Coats.
The red coats are coming.
Yeah.
The red coats
are coming. I know it's like historical red coats, but I have a script called The Red Coats.
I remember where all the people drown in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good story. Copywritten.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Don't take it.
But yeah, there's more dead ends to this story. So an immediate search of the farm and a surrounding area was conducted. A police bloodhound followed the scent to a crossroads where it eventually faded. So, like, this police dog did sniff the scent of the child, the boy, and it went all the way to these crossroads and just, like, it just was a dead end. It just stopped for the dog. He just stopped at the train, like, the crossroads.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, the dog wouldn't go any further.
Yeah, because usually they stop where, like, either they've lost the scent of something or, like, that's where the thing is that they're
This sounds
finding.
Like random vanishing into the upside down or alien invasion.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, what do you mean? But it's
one or
also
the
like,
other.
how did the dog know the scent was that entire thing? Like, did that kid walk? Wait, I just thought something so creepy. What if it was like something paranormal, or it was like aliens, like, and he was in some sort of trance that like led him to this crossroad and then he was abducted? But like, that's why, because I feel like ordinarily I was like, well, why would this kid walk all the way there and then get abducted? But that makes sense.
I only know about this because my little siblings watch them, but they watch really crappy YouTube shorts that are like horror stuff, and there's this one where there's these kids playing on like a playground, and it's right next to the woods, and they hear the woods like calling them, and like they like walk into the woods and stuff. So it's like, what if he was in the car and he thought he heard someone calling his name and went through?
Ew, that freaks me out so bad.
The other idea that's a little more practical in theory, is that he got bored waiting for an hour and said, "Let me go play."
Yeah, please let me play.
And got lost. And then abducted by aliens.
Yeah, because I feel like either way, something's weird with the dog. Just the scent faded of the boy. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. But police theorized that a passing motorist could have whisked Paul away as he tried to reach the mountain. So, like, they think maybe something just, like, scooped him up and took him, like some person. But however, the case went cold and there were no more developments of this story.
Oh, wow.
But more than 2 weeks after Paul Jepson's vanishing, 53-year-old Frida Langer, an avid hiker, met a similar fate. She and her cousin, Herbert Eisner, were hiking 17 kilometers from Glastonbury Mountain at the Somerset Reservoir. Not Somerset, PA. You're like, wait a second. Somerset Reservoir. After getting wet from falling into the creek, she went back to the campsite to change. So Herbert stayed behind to wait for her on the trail. When Frida did not return, Herbert reported her missing. For the next 2 weeks, 400 people scoured the area extensively. So another thing, all these people are going in the area. 6 months later, her body was found 5.5 kilometers from the campsite. Coroners, so her body was found. So,
she was found.
Yeah.
Wow.
But coroners could not determine the cause of her death because of the corpse's accelerated decomposition. So, like, her body was too far gone.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like, her body was so decomposed that they couldn't really quite tell what had killed her.
That's crazy.
But, yeah. So, it's just strange that there were all of these. But it is interesting that she was the only body of the 6, not the first initial one we talked about.
Yeah.
But of the 6 that happened in that really short span, that they did find her.
That's so weird.
But, yeah. Strange.
Wait, how long was it between her missing and them finding her? What was the timeline?
Let's see. It just says for the next 2 weeks, people looked for her. I'm guessing within those 2 weeks they found her body, from what I'm understanding from this.
Like, I don't know if this is like a part of the article or not, because I don't fully know, but a body takes a while to decompose, so that's like kind of crazy.
Well, I feel like depending on the weather, I mean, I don't know. I feel like bodies don't decompose as much, like when they're, like, this is gonna sound morbid and gross, but like when they're prepared for like a funeral and stuff, their stuff is put in them so they don't decompose. Like if there's like a corpse in a, I don't know, a coffin, like that's gonna decompose differently. But like human bodies decompose actually pretty quickly. Like 2 weeks, it would be pretty far gone, especially outside.
I guess that's true.
All of the elements. But,
oh wow, that's crazy.
To like understand what exactly happened here is pretty much impossible.
Wow.
But now we're gonna get into some theories of what all of this is. What's happening here?
We've been spitting out theories this whole time.
We've been spitting them out. But the folklore... watch it. So the folklore around the Bennington Triangle stems from UFOs, curses, Bigfoot, and more. The Abenki tribe believed that the Glastonbury Mountain was cursed, as it housed their dead at its base. So... There's dead people.
It's a burial
There's
ground.
a burial ground. So, hello, poltergeist. It's the same idea.
Oh my god.
So, only things are going to go bad from there. So, however, there are several connections we draw from these incidents together. So, 2 victims, Paula and Paul, ironically, were both wearing the color red.
Crazy.
And it is weird.
Paula and Paul.
Yeah, they're so... Paula and Paul, red coats, 2 of them. Strange. And all 5 victims disappeared in mid-afternoon around 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., so not far from each other and during the last 3 months of the year. So it has to be, it's weird that it's literally the same time of day and they all happened in the last 3 months of the year.
Oh my
like
God.
It's so specific to time, to date, like it's strange.
That's making me feel that it's very aliens. Like if they had a system and schedule of like when they were experimenting or like whatever the need would be. That gives me aliens. That's crazy.
My brain is sort of going in that way of like, is it sacrifice? It sounds like maybe a ritual of some sort.
No, it
like,
sounds very like system, schedule. Yeah.
Ew, I just saw something so creepy. It was talking about that tribe.
God.
I feel like there's a lot of ritualistic elements in tribes. What if there was something within those ritualistic things that is like sacrifice? Like maybe something within that?
Yeah.
Paranormal mixed with aliens, mixed with
ritual. What if it's even just like nature stuff too? Because like we've talked before with like witchcraft, how it's like you have to like give something to get something. Like that kind of idea too. Like it's
a sacrifice, a human sacrifice.
That is Like,
And maybe they didn't accept the last person, and that's why we found her body.
crazy.
I don't know. And it's strange.
with all things considered, like, it just feels like weird. Like, if it's not aliens, if it's none of these, it's still a weird coincidence.
Within
it is
this
still
5
weird
years of each other and so specific.
The same time frame.
Yeah.
Like, dates, and that's crazy.
It just doesn't seem, nothing's really adding up, and it's all too circumstantial that something else has to be in play here.
Yeah.
Like, even if you don't believe in aliens, don't believe in paranormal, something's not
Something just feels wrong.
off. Yeah, very off. So the first thought that your mind might go to is a serial killer, because I was just saying it's a little too circumstantial that, like, something has to be given here.
It's premeditated.
So, yeah. So, however, the variety in sex and age does not fit the usual modus or, like, behavior of a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
There's no set pattern and seems to more do with the geographical location.
There's usually they want like a personal gain out of it in some regard.
Mm-hmm.
So
or they're looking for very specific types of people, or like different things.
Yeah.
So the rough terrain and unpredictable weather are the most plausible explanations. Not in my opinion, but this is what the article is telling us. The wind patterns and temperature in the region are very erratic, particularly in the winter, because of the winds, and plants have also grown in odd angles. So, like, they're saying that maybe something with weather and temperature, I don't know.
Boring. Science, womp womp.
The thing is, even if you're a scientist, that doesn't make any sense. You're telling me...
I disagree.
You're telling me if the wind and temperature are erratic, that I'm going to disappear in the woods?
Who's taking me away, Jack Frost?
With no one finding me?
Be real.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, literally.
At all. Like, at all.
It does not.
So, lost in the woods, is it possible that the wacky winds and dense forest disoriented these hikers? I don't think so. Girl. But in 2008, Robert Singley got lost in a heavy fog. So there's more. Things are stirring up.
There's layers.
It's getting modern. It's 2008. It's the time of our lives. So in 2008, Robert Singley got lost in the heavy fog and spent the night in the woods huddled around a small fire he had made. He luckily made it back to his car in the morning. So, others might have succumbed to hunger, thirst, and hypothermia. But why aren't there any other bodies or other clues?
Exactly.
So, like, this guy... So people are saying, oh, yeah, it was the weather, it was the elements.
It was the fog.
This guy figured it out. He got lost and figured it out.
Yeah.
The second most popular theory is that the hikers fell down unmarked mine shafts and wells. That one I can see, honestly. But considering how remote the area is, if the hikers fell down one of these shafts, no one might never have found them. So, like, they could have, I guess, because no one would ever know they were there.
But wouldn't someone else probably fall with all the searches they were doing? Like, if you're covering that much terrain?
I mean, I guess so. Unless it was, like, a very specific place. I don't know.
Yeah, I just have a hard time believing...
Yeah.
That. Like, that they got so far that all of the hundreds of people that were looking for these people didn't fall.
But also, you'd have to step in a very specific spot. It could have been somewhere that, like, they're like, oh, well, we don't see anything over there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're covering an entire forest, there's no way to, like, properly search every single square inch. You're mostly just, like, looking around and keep walking, looking around. You're staying on the trail.
True. Yeah, you don't want to, like...
Like, there's no way to search every single square inch, regardless of how many people there are.
Yeah.
But a third... less plausible theory is an animal attacks. People think that could also be an option. I don't know. So the area actually contains cougars and black bears, but eastern cougars are extremely rare, and 60 years ago they were even rarer. So the idea that this could have been the thing that's, like, taking these people doesn't really add up at this time. So they may have vanished entirely from New England for some decades around that time.
Yeah.
That aside, cougar attacks are unusual, and while black bears have killed people on rare occasions, there has never been a serial killer black bear out there. Right. So, like, that doesn't make any sense.
This isn't Cocaine Bear running around.
Yeah, like, nothing.
Also, like, I just feel like animals aren't thinking, oh, I have to cover my tracks.
Yeah, they're not going, I think on the last 3 weeks, or whatever the time is.
Yeah.
Like, on this specific time of the year, and, like, at this time of day.
If they were to eat people, they're not going to think, oh... I should cover these tracks or something.
Do you think I should choose Paul and Paula with red coats?
Yeah, they're not smart like velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
And I feel there'd honestly be a lot more, like, killings of, or, like, disappearances of people if this was an active problem.
Right.
Because
also,
it'd be hungry.
Wouldn't the bear attack somebody if they were looking? Maybe it'd be scared because there'd be too many people. But,
I don't
know.
Come on. Well, if people were looking, a bear would still attack. But, like, it doesn't make sense with this theory.
No.
Yeah. So
boring. Animals suck. Black bears, womp womp. Dummies. Coyotes. Yeah, ugly. Coyote, ugly.
Ugly. But yes, there's also been some renewed interest up to like 2019.
Wow.
So on September 17th, 2019, the remains of a modern victim was New York resident Jessica Hildebert, and she was found near the Somerset Reservoir. Police determined that her death was a homicide, and no leads had turned up about her killer, and she was nicknamed, get it, Red, by her family and friends. So people are like, that's kind of weird. Like, that was her nickname. Very strange.
Do you think it's because they knew of the original ones? Like, but
well, her normal nickname, apart from, like, her dying.
She was already called Red beforehand.
Yeah, her friends and family, her nickname to them was Red.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's strange.
I'm not going to wear the color
Jessica.
red ever again.
Oh, good, I'm not wearing it. I got really scared for a second.
Oh, me either.
But, yeah, in August of 2021, Joseph Showing was found in his truck at Somerset Reservoir with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So stuff is even happening now. Well,
that's
2021.
COVID.
Yeah, that's literally so recent to now. He had been missing for several weeks. His truck was red, and despite his truck was red.
You're joking.
I'm not joking you. And despite the variety of circumstances, the color red still remains consistent in all of these, and like no one can quite figure out why that could be. And like who knows, maybe these last two things, I feel like could honestly just be like tragedies.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel like if you're looking for, like, a coincidence...
If you're looking for, like, a linear thing...
Yeah, like, you're gonna be like, oh, red!
It's
like,
weird still. It's still weirdly coincidental.
Strange. Yeah.
Even if it's just tragic coincidental things. It's like, that's not...
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I'm not going anywhere near that. Taylor Swift better not come near there
Stop,
with
Taylor
her
Swift's coming
red...
tomorrow.
Shit, with her Red album. I'm not going anywhere near there.
Let's do it, guys. But yeah, Red ain't it. Respectfully.
Wow.
So,
Taylor Swift's coming for you. Red's
Sorry,
a good
Taylor.
album. How dare
Sorry,
you?
I don't know Red. I don't know any of that. Well,
wow.
I know
You don't know the color red? So, okay, red
yeah.
is not blue, if that helps.
Roy G. Biv. Understood.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So, that's the end of the story. What are your final thoughts? Would you go to either of these woods? And what did you believe about these frightening tales or theories on any of them?
I wouldn't go to either ones.
Okay, fair.
Like, I really think they're insanely interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like the second one a lot in terms of like coincidental things that are happening.
Yeah.
But I'm partial to the first one. I think what's crazy is the 5-year-old thing.
Yeah.
Got me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get God a lot on the show.
You got God.
That got me.
Yeah, fair.
Like I would need to see like truly like after this I might look up like thousands of theories.
I want a documentary. There's probably some really detailed video that we have to
must
look
be
up.
Something like history-wise with that. That's just insane to me. And like I think the other one's like really interesting with all the, like the colors of red. Like what does that mean? Why is that important? What is the significance of this?
Yeah.
And also there being a gap of like like 70 some years almost with like an outlier in like 2008 or something. That's just like weird.
Strange.
That's but I really liked both of them. Like I didn't even realize that like woods were like this. Like I knew, but I didn't know.
Like there's even
I didn't know there's like actual true crime significance of that with the paranormal.
Yeah, and when I first started thinking about this idea, I partially considered like the idea of the suicide forest. But
when you said the first one, I was worried. I was like
considering it. I was like, maybe we can talk about it one day. But I feel like that has to be a very serious episode because obviously, all these disappearances and deaths are very relevant. It's just suicide is a very hard topic to talk about.
Yeah,
so,
I mean Logan Paul, perfect example.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be the next Logan Paul.
I don't want to be Logan
Paul. I want
to
be a better Logan.
Yeah, Lemaster.
Better than most.
Wow. But yeah, so these two woods, I think of the two, if I had to choose to go to either of them, it would definitely be the first one. Just because I feel like the idea that I could literally disappear in the second one, like, the consistent amount of disappearances there, that ain't it for me, you know?
Yeah, I think the issue is that we probably would have more of a chance of disappearing in the second one, but the first one we could find mysteries in some regard.
The first one I could, like, maybe get a little haunted,
And there's also a chance we'd come back. Because that's what happened to the little girl.
Like, we can come back, and we can maybe get a little, like, taken by UFO. Like, there's vibes there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
But yeah, those are fun. So I was like, I just want to share
this was crazy. This was awesome.
A fun finale for you. But
yeah, this is a great finale.
Thank you. But we're gonna get to the little conclusion to wrap her up in a pretty bow. So in conclusion, there are true horrors that took place in the Bennington Triangle and the Hoya Bashu Forest, but so many questions and dead ends remained. And I guess the answers to those who have disappeared and the strange phenomena that lies within these forests will forever remain. A mystery. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. That's a mystery.
That's a mystery.
This is what dreams are made of. Yes, thank you guys for listening so much. We love you the most. This has been a beautiful finale, and we cannot wait.
Great season.
Yes, we can't wait for what's in store for the summer tapes. It's going to be cool. It's going to be scary, and we cannot wait for you to be there.
So excited. If you want to see like all the stuff we're about to be doing, please follow us on the Instagram at the Mystery Files _, our TikTok at the Mystery Files Podcast.
Yeah.
I just showed Tiffany our new summer tapes promo video.
So
I worked
cute.
really hard on it. So whenever it's posted, it'll probably be up soon.
Yeah.
Give it some love.
Give it some love, please.
Please rate us on your podcast streaming service.
We would appreciate
Give us a like.
it.
Give us a comment on YouTube. Wherever you're listening, anything helps just to get the word out. Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. This is such a fun season. I don't want to be like nostalgic because I know we're running over time, but I feel like this season has been our objectively strongest and most successful.
I think so too. I think we've grown a lot. Like,
yeah.
In terms of podcast and just as people. But
yeah,
like
something just clicked this past season where we've just been really on it and like the socials have been good, the editing, the mysteries have been better.
Rockin'.
Not that they were bad, but you know, like we've been really solid. Thorough and like good. Even me, because I'm terrible at being
thorough. Watch your mouth.
But I don't know. I'm really happy to do this show, and I'm excited for everyone to see the summer tapes.
I'm so excited.
Which if you're a new listener, we've talked about it before. Summer tapes is basically it's the same exact show,
but in the summer.
So we do more like summer-based cases or like these ideas that happened in the summer. It doesn't always have to be.
Yeah.
But we try to stay in like some type of theming.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fun little thing. The summer tapes, fun fact, was the first thing we did to become a podcast, which is why we do it. It happened during quarantine.
We were kicked out of our studio because of
summer 2020, and we started the summer tapes.
We did, and we're just so happy to be growing, and we're happy to be here. We love you guys the most.
Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you soon.
See you for the summer tapes.
All right.
Goodbye.
See you soon.
Bye, bestie.